How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to another edition of the Tactical Empire. Today, it is May 1st. Welcome to a new month, folks. We're here to kick ass and build the life of our dreams. And what I wanted to talk today about was an interesting thing that I heard the other day regarding business and exactly what we're doing in today's day and age, 2023, right? And somebody said, and it was a concept that I've never heard, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about it since. So I wanted to address it today and talk about it because I think it's an interesting concept. The person that was speaking actually said that in today's day and age, in today's economy and market, we actually, if you're a business owner, we all own marketing companies at their core with bolt-on businesses. So I've owned brick and mortar gyms in the past, and to think about that, it was a very interesting concept because when I started my gym in 2011, it was a CrossFit gym, and ultimately everyone really gravitated to CrossFit in the early 2000s. And whether you love it or hate it, it's an interesting business experiment to discuss. But at its core, I always thought CrossFit, it wasn't a modality, it wasn't a training methodology, it was always a marketing company. And like way back when, 2001, 2002, when they started it, I was introduced to CrossFit in the special operations community in 2004, and we were using it as training to an extent. And there was a lot of people that were doing it in those communities, and I was a part of that community. So that's when I was originally introduced to it and took it back to Illinois, which is where I moved after I ETS'd from the military, and I started doing it on my own. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm talking about, though, is that ultimately that company was a marketing company, and everybody thought it was a fitness company. And so there was a lot of confusion with how they kind of presented themselves, and then what their responsibilities were to the overall community. And it, like I said, love them or hate them, you really had to respect what they did from a brand building and marketing standpoint in the early 2000s and through the 2005, 2012 buildup of what CrossFit was. So when they spoke about this and said that we all own marketing companies with a bolt-on business, it really, really resonated with me and got me thinking about how just pioneering that company kind of was in the early 2000s, doing things ahead of their time. So then it got me thinking like, hey, I own a plumbing company now, or I don't own a plumbing company, but if I owned a plumbing company now, I own a real estate company, I own a coaching company and a mastermind. I do own those things. And so how do I view my business and businesses? Do I view those real estate companies as marketing companies on the front end with a bolt-on real estate business, or am I looking at it in the wrong direction? So it was kind of an interesting thought process that I've been working through over the last month with regards to that comment. It really just stuck with me and resonated. And I would love to hear more people's thoughts on it, but like, if you took your business today, whatever industry you're in, and you viewed yourself as a marketing company, first and foremost, are you making the moves necessary to run that marketing company and make it the most efficient company, the most profitable company? And are you doing the necessary moves? And I would say if I was looking at my companies, I look at them first and foremost as their actual industry. I don't look at them as marketing companies, and I haven't really looked at them that way ever. And so when you talk about brand building and the stuff that we've been doing over the last few years, as far as building a personal brand, building branding for companies, things like that, it really resonates with me that, hey, maybe we need to be more deliberate about the marketing side of what we're doing. Granted, marketing plays a role in every business, but I'm much more of a believer in organic marketing. And I think that that's going to resonate in the upcoming years with more and more people, because they want to know, like, and trust who the owners are, where these goods are sourced. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, like, who's servicing the client. I mean, you're seeing just an absolute obliteration of customer service. It's already happened, like, ever since COVID. And I would argue, leading up to COVID, we have completely decimated the service industry with regards to an expectation as consumers of a high level of service. So if you want a market differentiator, the easiest thing to do is be able to stand up your level of service and then tout it, though. So when you're talking about marketing, it's not necessarily paid marketing. It's like, this is what we do, and this is the level of service we provide to people. And I think that's your market differentiator in today's day and age. I mean, holy shit. Like, I went and bought donuts yesterday, because we get donuts every Sunday for my kids. And as I'm recording this, it's Monday morning. So I spent $6 on donut holes for my kids, and the thing brought up a tip screen, right? And it was like in everybody's face. It was in the face of the cashier and me. And I didn't tip. Sometimes I do. I just didn't feel compelled to do it. For donuts, like, she turned around, grabbed the bags, and threw them at me, essentially. But when I pressed no tip, she saw that, and from that point on, I was still in the store for like 30 more seconds speaking to her, and she didn't say one more word to me. Like, it changed her mood instantly. You could tell. And so everybody's experienced this to some extent. This whole tipping thing that we're doing now, which is, I could produce an entire show on it. But my point being that, like, if your service is impeccable in today's day and age, that is your market differentiator, and people will pay for it. So how do you tell that story? If you're a marketing company that is a service-based business bolt-on, how do you tell your story of your service? And it's basically just telling your stories from the customer's standpoint. So you can highlight those in a variety of different ways. You can build up your customer to make them the hero of the story, which ultimately is the way to attract more and more clients. Because if you make them the keynote speaker of your marketing ad, like, they're the ones who are going to sing your praises, and it highlights them and makes them the hero of the story. But it also tells us a compelling story about your business from the end user standpoint, which that's what we have relatability with, right? Like, I'm a consumer. I want to go out and buy something. What's my experience going to be? I want to hear it from someone like me. I don't want to hear it from the owner necessarily all the time. I do want to hear from the people that work in the organization, whether it be the owner or someone else that produces content. But I do want to know that from a customer standpoint, like, what was their experience? Because you're going to tell the greatest story and shine the greatest light on your products and services, obviously, at any point in time. But the way to do that is really just allowing the customer to tell their story about their experience. But the more service you can get and provide, the higher level of service, that you can provide in this market and economy, you're going to dominate your competition. And so I just thought this was an interesting thought exercise of, you run a marketing company ultimately with a bolt-on of your actual fundamental business, whatever that may be, right? So tell me if this is helpful. Let me know. Hit me up, DM me. I just thought it was a really interesting thought exercise from a business owner standpoint, because I don't think of myself as a marketer. I think of myself as a real estate investor and a business owner in multiple different verticals. And so if you take a look and put your business under a microscope and you reframe your thought process of, I'm a marketing engine marketing this particular company, I think it could really change the organic content that you're able to put out. And it's really going to make you more attractive to the ideal customer and the avatar that you're trying to attract. So if this is helpful, let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. And let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to help you build your business, build your wealth, and be great leaders in your community. So go out and have a wonderful month of May, kick ass, chase all your dreams. You owe it to yourself and everyone else to set those goals and achieve those goals. So keep chasing perfection, or I guess optimization, not perfection. We're all on a journey. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Tactical Empire.